Hi everyone. This is the chance that I've been looking for. The reason I'm saying that is that it's getting close. I've been watching this about the Louisiana sinkhole, and this may be a change to say to everyone is to be ready anytime. Because if you see the title here, Louisiana sinkhole, evacuees angry at Jindal as dangerous dome collapses. And this came out Tuesday. It says, where's Bobby? Anywhere but in the Bayou, Corne. Now, Louisiana Governor Bobby Jindal has been missing in action. That's right. Bayou Corne residents say since he has refused to step foot in his state's disaster area, impacting a minimum of 350 residents in that area, that is the mandatory evacuation zone. And I'm told other populations excluded from the evacuation zone. Really? That's very odd, isn't it? Jindal briefly appeared at the sinkhole hearing in Baton Rouge last week. The residents from the Louisiana Ascension Parish collapsing salt dome sinkhole area has been energy evacuees for energy. So I don't know if they misspelled or what they were trying to say there, but evacuees for almost 6 months now, and are angry about being forgotten by their governor and their nation, according to a news report there in the local area. And we could drop the boat right there to go fishing. It's just like paradise, said that former Bayou Corne resident Jamie Weber at the hearing at Baton Rouge. Weber had to move here. The way they have this writing, I don't know if they're confused or what. I guess the person's pretty shaken up when they wrote this. See, Weber had to move her family outlets. Okay, his family outlets. I apologize because there's some misspelling here. Leaving a son on her home, or her old home, evacuated. Thank you, Texas Brine. Okay. Oh, it goes to her, but it's still spelled wrong. Okay. It's a she. At least there was one Bayou Corne energy evacuee in her video below. Says she is living in her car. And here's the video. It says the oil and gas service industry in the Texas Brine LLC is the company's blame or scapegoated for the sinking 1 mile by 3 mile salt dome, migrating methane, and earthquakes in the fault zone. So they are taking place. And I was told that they weren't. So that they are. So they are and they aren't. Either way. But this is moving pretty fast now. The company has a faulty cavern in it where the state has permitted it to store radioactive waste. Oh wow. Like many locals, Weber had no idea she was placing her mobile home atop an underground salt dome where even radioactive waste was being stored, along with an array of dangerous oil and gas industry chemicals. So this was a dumping ground, and these people were living in it. The 1 mile by 3 mile Napoleonville salt dome is full of caverns been mined to make brine, or salt water and to store hazardous, potentially explosive gases like butane. Yeah, that would be like an atomic bomb going off if this went off, guys. I mean, this would be really deadly. The geophysicist says that the western side of the Texas brine caverns is collapsing, causing the sinkhole at the surface to expand and contract. On October the 25th, these people moved out of their homes, and they had finally found a rented house because they had put a vent well 100 yards from their home, Weber says, and she told a joint legislative committee about the sinkhole hearing at the state capitol in Baton Rouge last week. She and some of the 350 evacuated Bayou Corne residences packed the hearing room, spilling into another overflow room last week, seeking all answers, wanting to have their say, and wanting to see their governor, who had been missing in action. Okay, if he's missing in action, he's guilty right there. So they need to impeach that guy, if they can get a hold of him. I mean, something's wrong. And the cause of the sinkhole is a subject of pending litigation. At this point, I don't think it's proper to have any discussion about what the cause of it is and whether that they would accept anyone who would say anything regarding the cause of the sinkhole. Says it's Troy Charpentier, an attorney for the Texas brine, told the committee. The Secretary of the Louisiana Department of Natural Resources flat out testified at the same hearing. The cavern collapse led to the sinkhole and created a path for the natural gas to come to the surface. And what was reported is that the DHR Secretary, Stephen Schutz, slipped out the back door with his press secretary, only offering an interview with him after the hearing without giving us the chance to ask him any questions. One of those questions is what caused the cavern to collapse. And they left also. We've got a bunch of criminals. All politicians are crooked. Gary Hickox answers one of the crowds that the sinkhole is consistently changing. It changes every time that we go out there, not just on the surface, but on the subsurface. Now, he's a hydrogeologist with CB&I, formerly the Shaw Group, and a chief consultant for the state about how to best manage the sinkhole again, and it's uncharted territory. The cavern is 3,400 feet deep, which is deeper than any other known cavern failure impacting the surface in the international record. Nowhere in the world has a brine cavern this large collapsed. Now, Hickox, that's Hecox, said that the data shows it's not finished yet. He says that they still have 450 feet to fill. How long it is going to take to fill it up is the question. At 1 foot per day, we're still looking at an event that's going to run over a year, maybe less. And every time that the collapse shifts or burps, recently the installed seismic monitors record the many quakes that were going on, and big gas bubbles, vegetation, and crude oil are released to the surface. It appears that the sand and gravel that is in the bottom of the sinkhole breaks up a large gas bubble into many small bubbles, just like an aquarium. Hickox says this is a good thing. Because if you get a single bubble up and have an ignited source, you can have a flashover. Fear of a flashover and explosion is a daily reality in the area. We continue to install relief wells as fast as we can, and we'll continue to do so as they continue to be effective, says Bruce Martin of the Texas Brine. Sounds to me like another Gulf of Mexico there. What happened in the Gulf of Mexico about trying to fix the wells there, and they didn't. They never did. Where these guys will keep true to what they say, well, I don't know. We'll see. The Bible sites popping up in the neighborhood typically dry during flooding after a recent rainstorm caused Dr. Wilma Sabra, a chemist from the Louisiana Environmental Action Network, to raise a red flag with the Louisiana Department of Environmental Quality. It says a house acts like a tent. So if it was migrating up through the soil, it's being caught in the house, it's building up concentrations in the house, and then it reaches explosive level. And then one little spark in the house could set it off. She says, one of the residents, Nick Romero, who had stayed behind, testifies before the legislative committees. He now has 5 DEQ monitors installed in his house to measure the natural gas and other chemicals. Oh gosh, how are they going to stay in there? And what their smell, if they overcome by the smell. We have our grandkids now and we can't. I love to fish, and now I can't do so. And he's choking back the tears. He tells his committee members. And once they had told us that they want to put monitors in our house, that's what we have to live like. Us is like a bunch of lab rats, he says. And there's no way for my kids to grow. And what about Big Energy Bobby? Well, since he disappeared, I think that he's forfeited everything. I mean, if people would be crazy if they elect him again in Louisiana. So, you hear me, Louisiana? If he ever gets in office, any office, you know, I'm going to lose faith in the American people. Because it's got to be a time, guys. You have to stand up or lose. Okay. Because there's, so how far? Okay, let's not put too much reading, but, yeah, I'll leave a link in the info bar. Because, yeah, it's just a matter of time, really, and I'm not really surprised about the crooked politicians, covering up. It sounds like another Gulf of Mexico about ready to go off. So if you ever live around in the area, not just the Louisiana area, but near Louisiana, Arkansas, Tennessee, and all those regions, guys, keep your eyes open, keep your ears open. Talk to your politicians. Put their backs against the wall. Say, I demand answers. Okay, I'm at the end, guys. So y'all take care. Till next time. Jesus loves you guys. If you don't know him today, give your life to him today. We're not guaranteed another tomorrow. Especially those guys in Louisiana. My prayers are with you guys. Y'all take care until next time. Bye-bye.